In March 2021, the government released a roadmap for electric vehicle adoption, mandating the use of electric vehicles in government procurement. 4 years later, government figures reveal that only 3.4% of the government vehicle fleet is electric. Furthermore, of the vehicles assigned to the chief executive and 18 principal officials, only 4 officials currently use electric vehicles. 5 officials, including the chief secretary, financial secretary, and secretary for justice, recently replaced their vehicles, none of which are electric, opting instead for hybrids or gasoline-powered cars. While the logistics department claims that the chief secretary and financial secretary's new vehicles are temporary and electric replacements have been ordered, environmental groups express astonishment at the government's slow progress and criticize its failure to lead by example. The government's adoption of electric vehicles, EVs, is lagging, with EVs comprising only 3.4% of its approximately 7,200 vehicle fleet. While EV purchases have increased annually over the past 5 years, they still fall short of gasoline vehicle acquisitions, accounting for only about 18% of total vehicle purchases during that period. This slow transition has been criticized as insufficient. Four government officials currently use the Chinese-made Maxus MIFA 9 premium electric vehicle as their official car. CU Medicine's advanced therapy research shows promising results in a local CAR T-cell therapy clinical trial for blood cancer, achieving significantly faster treatment times and positive initial outcomes in 5 patients. The Chinese University of Hong Kong's medical school launched a clinical trial evaluating a locally produced CAR T-cell therapy, with 14-year-old Peter, pseudonym, as the first patient, diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia 2 years prior. Peter initially underwent chemotherapy, achieving remission before a relapse last year. Following CAR T therapy, his cancer cells have been eradicated, and he reports a significantly improved quality of life, even playing video games with renewed energy. Applications for the full-time diploma in nursing program at the 3 hospital authority-run nursing schools are now open, with a 5-month application period, extended from the previous 2.5 months, and interviews starting in April. Public consultation on proposed amendments to the Buildings Ordinance, which ended on 28th of last month, included a suggestion that lawyers and estate agents who knowingly assist owners in acquiring properties with serious unauthorized structures should bear legal responsibility. The Property Management Services Authority expressed industry concerns and a desire for clarification on this legal liability, while the Hong Kong Institute of Surveyors believes that while participants in property transactions are not entirely without responsibility, the Buildings Department and relevant industries should develop operational guidelines for practitioners. National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, CPPCC, member, Tang Ying 9, proposed boosting the Greater Bay Area's development by facilitating the free flow of capital within the region and easing travel restrictions for international and mainland Chinese visitors. If you weren't human, what animal would you be? City University's Narrative Space is hosting the Non-Humotion art exhibition this weekend. Exploring climate change from a non-human perspective, artist Jerry Wu, 32, says he'd be an eagle. For the freedom to find suitable habitat. The process, he says, fostered empathy for nature and broadened his worldview, challenging the assumption that a comfortable life is the only reality. He encourages everyone to embrace imaginative perspectives, arguing that life can be much more interesting. Hong Kong's Art March features major events like Art Basel, Arts Central, and ComplexCon, attracting public attention and government support. However, City University's Dr. Lo Rui questions the government's priorities, arguing that while significant resources are invested in art, they disproportionately favor overseas entities. He urges the government to directly support local artists and communities by engaging with them and reviewing their work before allocating resources. Villagers near a public toilet in Sai Kung's Mong Kung Uk Chun heard a man shouting for help early yesterday morning and called the police. Firefighters rescued a man in his 60s from a slope using ropes. He was conscious and sent to the hospital. He had fallen and become trapped after a hiking accident on Friday, February 28. His phone was damaged, and he was missing for approximately 48 hours before his family reported him missing. A local hearing services organization is launching a program this month to provide hearing assessments and support to individuals with potential hearing impairments and autism, coinciding with World Hearing Day, March 3. The organization notes that autism symptoms are often more readily apparent than hearing problems, leading to misdiagnosis and delays in treatment. The initial phase will prioritize 50 low-income families. A survey on workplace sexual harassment, conducted by the DAB, Democratic Alliance for the Betterment and Progress of Hong Kong, and other groups including the Equal Opportunities Commission, revealed that 35% of female respondents experienced workplace sexual harassment in the past 3 years, yet only 40% reported it. Over half of surveyed companies lacked clear anti-harassment guidelines and confidential reporting mechanisms. Some SMEs cited resource constraints as a barrier to implementing comprehensive anti-harassment measures. The groups advocate including anti-sexual harassment policies in corporate ESG, environmental, social, and governance audits to incentivize policy development. Last week's budget announced a study into a border construction fee for private cars traveling north. The financial secretary, Paul Chan, stated that these drivers constitute only 15% of outbound travelers and are relatively well off, adding that the government wouldn't charge those using the high-speed rail to avoid inconveniencing the public. He also defended the lack of salary cuts for high-ranking officials, stating that the matter had been comprehensively considered and the current approach was deemed appropriate. Facing a near $100 billion deficit, the budget proposes a one-year public sector pay freeze and the elimination of 10,000 civil service positions during the current government's term. The Civil Service Bureau Chief, Alice Mock, clarified that unfilled vacancies and staff reductions are distinct. Some vacancies are unavoidable and will be addressed through attrition or internal redeployment. emphasizing that there are no plans for layoffs. She reiterated that approximately 40% of civil servants are already at the top of their pay scales and will not receive salary increases through incremental pay adjustments. Hong Kong's budget proposes reviewing the scale and implementation of district cooling systems in new development areas like Hung Shui Kio, Ha Chun and the Santin Technopole, with preliminary estimates suggesting savings of at least 400 billion Hong Kong dollars in construction costs. Secretary for the Environment and Ecology, Zai Chin-wan, stated that it's time to adopt a new approach to building and operating district cooling systems in future developments. A report on the review will be submitted to the Legislative Council's Environmental Affairs Committee in the second quarter of this year. Pan Cheng-wai, a founding member and former chairman of the Pro-Beijing Federation of Trade Unions, passed away at the age of 102 at the end of January. His funeral was held yesterday. Researchers at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University have discovered a way to extract prebiotics from mushrooms that promote the growth of Akkermansia mucinophila, ACK, in the gut. This beneficial bacterium helps maintain a balanced gut microbiome, reducing the risk of obesity, diabetes, fatty liver disease, cardiovascular disease, and chronic inflammation. Importantly, this mushroom-derived prebiotic can also serve as a healthy alternative to animal fats. Chong Kin Fai, a research assistant professor in the Department of Food Science and Nutrition at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, revealed that Poweron Biotech Limited has accumulated over 5 million Hong Kong dollars in research and development expenses. Funding sources include the Polytechnic University, the Technology Startup Support Scheme for Universities, TSSSU, the Science Park Incubation Program, and angel investors. The closure of North Point's New Light Cinema, a half-century landmark, today marks the end of an era. Yesterday, numerous people of all ages gathered to pay their respects, capturing photos of iconic features like the House Full flag, the coin-operated weighing machine, and the neon sign. Some even painted murals, preserving memories of the cinema's final moments. This outpouring of affection, as noted by Li Kui-ming, founder of the Sheng Shi Tian theater troupe and the cinema's operator for 12 years, demonstrates the enduring spirit and community bonds of Hong Kong. Hong Kong was shrouded in thick fog during the late winter, early spring period, a result of warm, humid maritime air affecting the Guangdong coast yesterday afternoon. The city experienced high humidity and fog. The observatory reported visibility in Victoria Harbour dropping to around 1,000 meters, and even lower, below 500 meters, on Waglan Island. Despite the fog, temperatures in Victoria Harbour were surprisingly warm, reaching a high of 27 degrees Celsius in urban areas. New territories experienced temperatures 1 to 2 degrees Celsius higher, with Dagashan reaching 28.8 degrees Celsius, and Yuen Long Park and Shek Kong both hitting 28.9 degrees Celsius, feeling more like early summer. Hong Kong's Antiquities and Monuments Office's Dinosaur Meeting Room, open since December showcases approximately 30 dinosaur bone fossils from the Cretaceous period, 145 to 66 million years ago, recently unearthed in Chek Chau. The exhibit includes a cleaning area, allowing visitors to observe experts at work, and has attracted over 42,000 visitors in its first 2 months. Médecins Sans Frontières (MSF) held its 23rd annual Rescue the Wild charity run yesterday in Hong Kong Science Park, attracting over 3,000 participants aged 4 to nearly 80 who competed in 10K, 3K, and orienteering challenges. This year's event included new team and corporate team competitions,